G'day, Ron. Why Adelaide Footy Club?
I was just really impressed with the organisation, and the playing group and the club and where it wants to go, and what it wants to stand for. It sort of really resonated with me, and yeah, looking forward to for the change for myself and to be with a club like Adelaide. I was really impressed and really looking forward to it.
Just for the point of the cameras, can you give us an understanding of your role?
Yeah, I'm going to be a development coach and looking after the midfield and assisting with the midfield. So it's something that I did a bit of work this year with Sydney as a playing coach and that similar role. So to sort of expand that and get more experience for myself and help our team.
What excites you about that midfield that Adelaide's got?
Yeah, it's a great midfield. It's got a lot of good players, a lot of good young guys to come through. But in saying that, I don't really know what they're like as a group and how they're going to learn and how they work as a team. That's probably the most important thing, getting them to work as a team. But once I sort of get amongst it and know what I'm working with is in terms of the playing group and how they are, be able to sort of probably give a more defined answer of how the club's going to go in that area.
Ryan, you mentioned what Adelaide stands for. That's why you liked it. What does it stand for, in your opinion?
Well, with Phil coming on, it was really exciting. That all about the team and team first mentality, having elite standards, work rate, that sort of stuff. It's just something that's I can sort of think of my career, and it's how it was, and it's sort of ran home with me. So it's that's where they want to be, and that's something that I think that all elite clubs need to be like.
How important is his philosophy to success? Obviously, you come from a situation in Sydney like that. So how significant is that whole everyone buy-in, team first mentality?
Oh, it's probably the major thing. You have to do it as a unit, as a team. It's not just the 18 or the 22 on the week. It's the whole list and the whole club. Everyone needs to be pulling in the same direction. It's a brutal game. It's tough, very competitive. The good teams do it really well, and that's where you got to set the standard and set the bar really high. So that whole philosophy is super important. It's probably the most key point for a good side.
And do you think your experience of what you went through, Ryan, you obviously had a brilliant career, but then it was obviously very tough this year. Do you think that will help you from a coaching perspective? Just to impart on players, sometimes when it's hard, that's what you have to do.
I hope so, and that's how I looked at this year. For me, it was a big learning curve for me to help my coaching career and looking for the future. So hopefully this year, the experience I've gained will help me. But in saying that, I'm still an infant in coaching terms. I've got a lot to learn, and I'm really looking forward to working under Phil. I think he'd be a great mentor, and looking forward to working with the rest of the group.
The famous Bloods coach, obviously you're part of that for your entire career. Would you like to instill some of that at Adelaide, and how do you go about it?
As I said, I haven't been amongst the group and sort of don't know what they're probably doing. A lot of things okay and a lot of things really good. So once I get involved and see how it all works, I've obviously just got my experience of what I've done over the last 15 years up in Sydney, but saying that's not the perfect system either. So I'm really interested and keen to get involved and see how the playing group and how the club and how everything wants to run, and see if we can help that along.
But how important was that whole culture at Sydney, and what was at the crux of it?
Basically, we knew what we wanted to stand for, what we did stand for, and everyone from the players right through the staff knew where the club wanted to be and what it wanted to stand for. So that's something that I think it was, and everyone just pushed towards that, and we didn't accept anything outside that, which is, I think that's the same philosophy we want to have here, and that's what Phil wants to have elite standards in all assets of the club.
So you see a bit of what he's spoken to you about, maybe that you saw at Sydney as well? You talk about those elite standards and stuff like that?
Yeah, very similar, very similar. You've got to have very high standards. You don't accept anything below that. Work hard and do it together. It's all about the team, it's not about individuals.
When you were getting interviewed for your job, I don't know who interviewed you with sales, did the club sort of indicate whether there are any sort of holes in, you're talking about elite standards and culture and stuff, any holes that you need to fill in the next couple of years?
I don't think there's holes or drastic changes needed to be made, but it's always improvement. Doesn't matter how good you are, you've got to improve, and you've got to look to get better and push yourself and set high bar and set high standards. So that's just something, and obviously wins. That's what this game's all about, is getting wins and playing finals. We haven't done that. We didn't do that this season, so it's something we're going to have to get better in a lot of areas, across the board, across all players, across coaching, to make sure we play finals, and that's what we want to do, make finals.
You would have played against most of the Crows players you're now going to coach. What was your observation of the list here?
As I said, a lot of good young players, a lot of good. They work hard. They go hard at the ball, contest the footy. So look, there's a lot of positive. That's why I wanted to take their job. I think there's a lot of upside, and they've got a good base. Just need obviously to improve in probably a few areas which I don't know just yet. But once I get involved and we sort of get on with it, we'll be able to know the areas we need to fix up.
Did you choose the Crows over a number of other sides? I mean, were there a few suitors for you to get into the coaching game?
Yeah, there was, and sort of had to make the decision of my wife, pick up and move out of Sydney. It's a big move. Yeah, but as I said before, I was really impressed with the way the club was, how Phil and the direction they want to go, and it's something that I just sort of resonated with me, and I thought it would be a great opportunity, and a great opportunity for myself also to learn.
Brian, on a sort of lighter note, you'd be in the good books with your wife, because didn't you guys go through an amazing challenge called 30 Nights at the Mickey?
Yeah, it was. It was good. It was good. So that's the reason we moved. No. Yeah, look, as I said, it's a big move for the family, and yeah, we're looking forward to getting over here and settling in and getting on with the job.
And the Crows spoke to you before the coaching change, didn't they? Originally, did that move the goalposts at all for you?
Yeah, look, they were in contact. Yeah, prior to the coaching change, and yeah, obviously had to sort of wait until I met Phil and have a good chat to him before we made the final decision.
And the midfield, you're part of a great midfield at Sydney. There's some gun players here and a couple of young Crouch boys who are pretty good as well. Do you look at that midfield and think it can perhaps be one of the better ones running around? As
I said before, regardless of what individuals you got in your midfield or in your team, it's about doing it as a unit. One or two players aren't going to beat a quality unit midfield, so that's something that we're going to have to really sort of hone in here and make sure that regardless of who's playing or what the personality you've got a really strong unit, you all know what you're doing and everyone plays their role.
Did you consider playing again this year? Were there any offers at all?
Yeah, I did, and that's something I had to weigh up. But I think the opportunity here was good, and I really liked it, and had to sort of think beyond 12 months. Wanted to get into coaching, and it's something that I had to think long term, and yeah, I'm really glad to make this decision.
Were there feelers from other clubs to get you on a one-year deal?
Yeah, as I said, but I had to sort of, in my own mind, I had to sort of think ahead of 12 months. Could have, body's fine, I still loved playing, but I really, I thought this was a great opportunity. Didn't want it to pass, and had to think long term.
How tough was the last year? You had a glittering career. How tough was it the last year not being able to play?
Yeah, it was difficult, especially watching the guys make a grand final. Honestly, it was tough. But in saying that, I think I learned a lot last year, and it's probably something that I'd use taking forward in my coaching career. And I got to work with a lot of our young guys, help coach, playing coach with our reserves, and that was something that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to do a bit of that this year.
And no ill feelings towards the Swans at all?
No, not at all. It's sort of the Swans have made me the person I am today, and if it wasn't for the Swans, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. They've given me great opportunity in terms of gave me a great career, but also hopefully everything I've learnt there will give me a great coaching career.
Adelaide's missed the finals 2 years in a row. Do you believe that the list is good enough to really push certainly for the 8 and even higher next year? Yeah, only just missed the finals by a game this year. So as I said, I think it's a good list. Room for improvement. Not saying that they're super, but big room for improvement. And I think if we get on with it, get hard work, and get all the way we want to play, we should be right.